A runny nose, or rhinorrhea, occurs when excess mucus is produced by the nasal mucosa and drains out of the nostrils or down the throat. This can be caused by various factors, and the underlying mechanisms differ depending on the cause. Here's a detailed explanation of the causes and mechanisms. 1. Viral infections, common cold or flu. Mechanism. When a virus, example rhinovirus, infects the nasal mucosa, it triggers an immune response. Immune cells release inflammatory mediators like histamine, bradykinin, and cytokines. These mediators cause vasodilation, widening of blood vessels, in the nasal mucosa, leading to increased blood flow and leakage of fluid into the tissues. The nasal glands are stimulated to produce more mucus to trap and flush out the virus. The combination of excess mucus and fluid leakage results in a runny nose. 2. Allergic rhinitis, allergies. Mechanism. Allergens, example pollen, dust, pet dander, bind to IgA antibodies on mast cells in the nasal mucosa. Mast cells release histamine and other inflammatory mediators. Histamine causes vasodilation, increased mucus production, and irritation of nasal nerves, leading to sneezing and a runny nose. The excess mucus is thin and watery, characteristic of allergic rhinitis. 3. Cold air or environmental irritants. Mechanism. Cold air or irritants, example smoke, strong odors, can stimulate the nasal mucosa. The nasal blood vessels constrict initially to conserve heat, followed by rebound vasodilation, which increases blood flow and mucus production. The nasal glands produce more mucus to protect the respiratory tract from the irritant or to humidify cold, dry air. 4. Sinus infections, sinusitis. Mechanism. Bacterial or viral infections in the sinuses cause inflammation of the sinus lining. This leads to increased mucus production and blockage of sinus drainage pathways. The excess mucus can drain into the nasal cavity, causing a runny nose, often with thicker, discolored mucus. 5. Hormonal changes, example pregnancy. Mechanism. Hormonal fluctuations, particularly increased estrogen levels, can cause nasal blood vessels to dilate and increase mucus production. This is common during pregnancy and is referred to as pregnancy rhinitis. 6. Spicy foods, gustatory rhinitis. Mechanism. Spicy foods stimulate sensory nerves in the mouth and nasal cavity. This triggers a reflex response in the nasal glands, leading to increased mucus production. The runny nose is a protective mechanism to clear potential irritants. 7. Non-allergic rhinitis. Mechanism. This condition involves chronic nasal inflammation without an allergic or infectious cause. Triggers include changes in weather, stress, or certain medications, example NSAIDs, blood pressure drugs. The exact mechanism is unclear but may involve overactive nasal nerves or blood vessels. 8. Cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, leak which is rare. Mechanism. A head injury or skull-base defect can cause cerebrospinal fluid to leak into the nasal cavity. This results in a clear, watery discharge that is often mistaken for a runny nose. It is a medical emergency and requires immediate attention. Summary of key mechanisms. Increased mucus production, stimulated by immune responses, irritants, or nerve reflexes. Vasodilation, inflammatory mediators cause blood vessels to widen, leading to fluid leakage. Protective function, mucus traps and removes pathogens, allergens, or irritants from the nasal cavity. Understanding the specific cause of a runny nose helps in choosing the appropriate treatment, whether it's antihistamines for allergies, decongestants for colds, or addressing underlying conditions like sinusitis.